If they could just make healthy foods taste better, nigga, what could I say? It'd be so much easier for fat niggas. We will be binging on strawberries and chocolates and bananas. So check out a video called I'm Fat Because I Don't Eat Enough. Secret Eaters. This is a video by Kiana Docherty. Somebody who I just saw a video of The Life of Brothers with a few minutes ago, or a few days ago. Inspired me to do my own video. And yeah, it's true. I just don't eat enough, guys. I starve myself every day and I just keep getting fatter somehow. It's like when I don't eat, I gain calories. Like, nah. I'm curious what this video is going to be about because, yeah, you don't just gain weight from not eating. If you eat and you eat a normal portion, you stay within your caloric deficit or it's caloric average, you're going to maintain your weight or you're going to lose weight. But if you are not eating enough, you're not going to get fat. You're not, but let's see what's happening. Let's see.
Gain weight without overeating, or are we just secretly consuming
sick,
too much?
Are you eating enough to be the size that you are?
I eat healthy things. I just don't know where I'm going wrong.
She says she eats healthy things. Yo, I'm an avid sauce lover. So I know my sauces is one of the biggest things that keep me from losing weight very quickly, very rapidly. She has this shit covered in sauce or gravy or something. I don't even know. I gotta see what this is.
It mystifies me that I have gained so much weight so quick.
I'm not one of the
1,500 calories in one sitting.
Most of the time I'm good.
Yo, 1,500 calories in one sitting is crazy, dog. I'm sure I've done it too, but still, it is crazy to think about that. That's already the daily average of a woman in caloric deficit. 1,500. Like the average amount for a man on a normal day is like what, 2,000, 2,200. So already in that one meal, you've already hit that. If you had that 3 times in a day, you've doubled. You've literally doubled how much you're supposed to have in a single day. It's crazy.
Today we're discussing yet another episode of Secret Eaters, the show that proves if you're gaining weight, it's because you're eating too much.
Facts.
That's it. There's no other reason. You're just eating too much.
I had to come back on my sauce.
Which is a very good thing because it means we are not doomed. Season after season, Secret Eaters brings in people who think that they're eating super healthy or not much at all.
I don't understand why I'm this big because I don't eat that much.
Cap.
Only to prove to them that they are eating much, much more than they think.
On Saturday alone, I can't believe this, nearly 7,000 calories.
7,000 calories? Nigga, that's a bodybuilders type diet. And even them niggas is just struggling to eat that much. How does she eat 7,000 in one day? Okay. She's an expert level big bag. I don't think I've ever come that close. I've eaten a whole pizza. I've eaten a whole rib plate and baked potato and got done and then ate a whole pizza. Probably like 4,000 or 5,000 calories in a day because I'm just being that big. But 7? That takes effort, dog. That takes some effort. Let me see.
Just
In
on
one
Saturday.
day.
The culprit? Mindless eating. Eating without even realizing it. Eating on autopilot. Seems kind of insane, but many of us do this from time to time. We don't notice the cluster of bad eating habits that we build up over time. Habits we repeat day in and day out. And then suddenly we find ourselves zoned out and munching without a second thought. And today's couple is a pretty extreme example of this. They sincerely believe they eat healthy, mostly veggies, and they think if anything, they are not eating enough.
I don't think I eat the amount that my body is showing.
I would say some days I don't have enough food, yeah.
But is that true?
Hold on. Go back.
I would
Go
say
back. So it's like a Snickers bar, 260 calories. The fact that that's as much as a piece of chicken is crazy. 128 calories is like a bun or 2 pieces of toast, depending on what kind of toast you're using. And then almost it is on the corner of 491 calories. That's a whole sandwich. And none of that food's gonna leave you full for more than like 10 seconds. So I see why he feels like he's not eating enough calories, but in actuality, he's eating more than enough. But the food that he's eating are not filling. They're not nutritious enough to give his body enough satiation, aren't giving his body the satisfaction it needs to continue on and feel like it's actually been satisfied. It's crazy.
some days I don't have enough food, yeah.
But is that true? I guess we'll have to wait and see. And as a little bonus, today's episode might just be the most British episode ever made.
She comes round, she always have a packet of balms with her.
He has bought
A chip bomb.
Damn.
Can't believe you got me in the car, but I know I'm getting bigger because I can't pass my kicks.
Oh god, yes, me some
Before we
things
get
I don't
into it,
understand.
this video is sponsored by me and my behavior change course, How to Change. If you've been struggling with bad habits that have been holding you back from living your best life, this course was made for you. The course is finally ready and open for enrollment right now, so click the link below to learn more and join me in the course. In case you've never seen Secret Eaters before, this is how the show works. It starts with a couple who are gaining weight. They're confused, they have no idea why or how it's even possible that they could be gaining weight. They're doing mostly everything right. So they call in this TV show to get to the bottom of it. And so the show puts up hidden cameras and follows them around with private investigators for a week to see if it's true or if they're just secretly consuming more than they think. And in the end, it turns out...
I'm also curious, like, if you know you're on the show, wouldn't you just like change your diet for a week just to prove to your point? Like, this is the whole point against it though. But yeah, I feel like I would not even just like on purpose, but maybe even subconsciously eat less because I know I'm on camera. But I don't know.
That hey, they weren't really eating the 1,200 calories a day that they were claiming to eat. They were eating much, much more than that. So in today's episode of Secret Eaters, we meet a couple named Emma and Paul. They want to be healthier for their 2 young children, but they seem to just keep gaining weight. However, this couple thinks they may know the reason why.
Are you eating enough to be the size that you are?
No, I don't think we're eating enough.
Yes, this couple believes that their weight gain may be due to the fact that they are not eating enough. Paul is a bus driver, so according to him, he can't eat at all until he gets home from work. And Emma is busy all day watching their children. And she's certain that she couldn't possibly be overeating either. She said she doesn't eat her first meal until mid-afternoon and then eats practically nothing until her husband gets home.
It just doesn't sound like you're eating that much.
No, not really.
Now, if you're watching this, you already know that there is no way that this is true. But for some reason, this really is a myth that just won't die. But the idea that you can be overweight and gaining weight because you're not eating enough is a false one. What's happening instead usually looks something more like this. What I eat on a typical day. 1, bowl of cereal. 2, simple lunch. 3, slice of pizza. 4, tons and tons of snacks I absentmindedly eat and totally forget about. I'm so full, but I didn't eat much today. I wonder why. A true mystery. This is mindless eating. Mindless eating is when you snack or eat without really noticing. You're not thinking.
Yeah, I'm going to say right now, that was me. If you got Pop-Tarts in the house, if you got these big ass cookies, or for me, this is going to sound random, crazy as hell, but honey mustard sandwiches was one of my biggest things. Give me 2 pieces of bread and throw some honey mustard on there. I'm thinking it's the most easiest diet ridden thing of all time. No, it's still like 500 calories for a honey mustard sandwich. And so I'm just eating that and I ain't thinking about it. Not even counting it on my calculator to realize, oh shit, that's like 1,000 extra calories I didn't even account for. Ugh.
Thinking about it, you're just grabbing food out of habit, like reaching for chips while watching TV or nibbling on something while scrolling on your phone. There are really 2 main types of behaviors that we all have. Number 1, automatic behaviors. These are like autopilot mode. They happen without much thought, you just do them, like brushing your teeth or unlocking your phone. And number 2, thinking behaviors. These require awareness and effort, like solving a problem or deciding what to cook for dinner. Mindless eating falls into the automatic category. It's something we do without paying much attention, which is part of what makes it so difficult to stop. And that's why bringing awareness to eating habits that you want to change is really sort of the first step. The opposite of mindlessness is mindfulness, which is a mental state of being conscious or aware, focused on the present moment. When we're distracted or otherwise not fully paying attention to what we're doing, we typically revert back to our more automatic behaviors. This mindlessness leads us to doing whatever is our default. And when it comes to Emma and Paul,
bus driver Paul's weight has driven up at an alarming...
Let's also be clear. It's clear that both of them don't get much exercise on the daily. I picture she walks around with the kids, sits on the floor with the kids, hangs out with the kids, sits on the couch, watch TV a lot during the day. Probably not getting outside, getting, that 30-minute walk, hour-long walk everybody recommends you get every single day. And he's a bus driver. He's clearly sitting down for like 7 to 8 hours a day. Not doing much walking. I know when he gets off work, he's not going to feel like going for a walk. So, yeah. We see why you're getting weight, buddy.
Rate, while stay-at-home mother Emma is sure her diet isn't to blame for the bulge.
Paul hasn't weighed himself in a while, but he's pretty sure he's gaining weight.
Because I can't pass my kicks.
And when he steps on the scale, he's surprised to find that he's gained 24 pounds in just a few months.
Damn, well, darling, 24? I'm sorry, but you're 16 stone.
Ooh.
And in Emma's case, she's really gained a lot in a short period of time, and it's making her very unhappy. But just a few years ago, this wasn't really the case. But since she's become a stay-at-home mom, her weight is totally out of control, according to her. And Emma really doesn't know where to go from here. She's tried diet after diet, and in her words, she's followed them to a T.
Exercising, I'd stuck to it religiously.
To the point that she says,
I want some proper scientific reason why I'm not losing weight.
and when Emma steps on the scale, we see that whatever she's been doing hasn't been working for her.
You're 19 and a half stone.
That's not too bad, is it?
But I think we need to stop and
him.
discuss something quickly in honor of the most British episode of Secret Eaters. I think it's time we finally looked up why the heck British people weigh themselves in terms of stones. I looked it up, and Britain has a very weird weighing system overall. They measure most things via the metric system, so in kilograms, but not everything. And when it comes to putting their bodies on a scale, they've chosen to use stones and pounds instead of just pounds or just kilograms, or even stones and kilograms, since they weigh most things in kilograms. I just don't get it. You guys weigh everything else in terms of kg. Why are you weighing yourselves in terms of stones and pounds?
What is
so
a stone?
I looked it up, and this is what I found. Back in the day, people would in fact weigh goods like bags of grain or livestock in terms of how many rocks they were. This went on for centuries. First, it was just a bunch of rocks that were relatively the same in size. But then a series of laws were passed in like medieval times in Britain that said a stone must be 14 pounds. And then
I want to say, what if a nigga finesse your ass? Like the stone could be the same size, but not made of the same material. Therefore, the material could be heavier than the stone that you got. So I could have a marble stone, and you can have a, I don't know, an emerald. Which one weighs more? Or what if he has like a coal and you have a pebble? They're the same size. Nigga, you just got finessed. Finessed. I should be cheating everybody out their money, guaranteed.
all these special weighing rocks were made to equal exactly 14 pounds, or 6.35 kilograms. Therefore, when modern British people are saying they weigh in stone, yes, they are actually saying
pounds.
how many rocks their bodies are. So yeah, Emma weighs
16.
in at 19 and a half rocks, which is nearly 275 pounds or 124 kg, and she is completely baffled. But what could be going on here?
Right.
More than me.
So in order to get to the bottom of this mystery, they've called in Anna Richardson and the Secret Eaters team. They both think they're not eating enough. So what exactly are they eating?
Will you give us an hour getting used to him, please?
In their food diaries, Paul recorded eating about 2,000 calories a day, and Emma recorded eating about 1,300. And anytime I watch an episode of Secret Eaters and they're eating like 1,300 calories a day, I know we're in for a ride, because if you have struggled with your weight like I do, and you've tried to eat around 1,300 calories, you know that's kind of hard. It's unlikely that if you were overweight or obese that you would accidentally be eating that many calories. Just speaking from experience, it's not that easy to do. And even Paul doesn't believe that Emma's eating only 1,300.
Because when I go on my strict diets and lose weight very rapidly, I go down to like 1,200 calories, maybe 1,500 if I'm being generous toward myself on the weekends. But 1,200 is usually where I aim at. And it legitimately feels like you're starving yourself because your body wants like 800 to 900 more calories in that day. And there are many days where I'll just fast it out, because it's like sometimes like if I eat, I feel like I'm just teasing myself. I'm just teasing myself because it's the same results. At the end of the day, I'm gonna be super, super hungry when I get ready to go to sleep. So I might as well just fast the entire freaking day and just save those 800 calories for another time. So it's like, yeah, it's tough. It's not easy.
Calories. He makes a few comments on the show that suggest that he thinks she might be eating a little bit more than she thinks.
She was a size 16 when I first met her. So it does seem a little bit strange to me that she's put so much on. But is she eating when I'm not here? We don't know that, do we?
But what Paul doesn't realize is that she is not the only one who's lying to themselves about how much they're eating. When the show follows them, they find some slight discrepancies between their totals and reality. Starting with Paul. According to Paul, his diet is made up of mostly fruits and vegetables, and he loves them.
Now, Paul, I want you to tell me how much you love vegetables.
Fruit, oranges, apples, bananas, eat all that. All the stuff, all the proper stuff that you need. I absolutely love fruit and veg.
And technically, the very first meal that the cameras catch the couple eating is vegetable-based. And it's funny, as Paul is preparing his meal, he remarks that he's eaten so little recently. And what's that he's eating? A cheese-stuffed jacket potato.
Oh,
Bust out
God.
your Secret Eaters bingo, because we already have a jacket potato, aka apparently the most iconic British meal of all time. Hard to tell exactly what's on that jacket potato, but Paul clearly has a ton of cheese, some onions. I think that's a tuna salad right there, which is tuna plus mayo.
Yeah, my dad used to love tuna salad when I was a kid. I don't know, that it just smells like ass. I couldn't do it. I'd rather eat ass than eat tuna. That's a crazy segue, but hey, that potato right there alone is probably easy almost 800 to 1,000 calories. So he's already capping his ass off.
Mayo usually. And I mean, I don't think this is particularly unhealthy or anything, but it's probably way more calories than he thinks it is. If you were a man aiming to eat around 2,000 calories a day and you had 3 square meals with no snacks in between, each meal would have to come in around 650 calories. A large potato like this is something like 267 calories for 400 grams. Then you have at least 30 grams of cheese here. That's 121 calories. Then let's say half a can of tuna, 60 calories. It's hard to say how much mayo in there, but we'll say 2.5 tablespoons at 235 calories.
And think about that. Mayonnaise. 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise is 235 calories. That's a piece of chicken you could have eaten. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go on a binge, no sauce or sugar-free sauce or calorie-free sauce, something. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because I would guarantee most of my calorie intake is coming from sauce. Sucks to say, but it is.
So this meal, just eyeballing it conservatively, is a minimum of 690 calories. I highballed it, which means that unless Paul's other meals were really, really small and he had no snacks in between, he's already off target for the 2,000 calories that he said he consumes. And considering the fact that the camera showed Paul slipping a chocolate bar into his back pocket at the grocery store later on, which is usually around 200 to 250 calories, we already have a bit of evidence to indicate that Paul is eating more than he thinks. As the surveillance cameras and private investigators continue watching Paul, they find even more discrepancies. Paul claims that for lunch he usually has one of these 2 things.
Paul usually has a butty or a pasty at this time, but today he's fueling up on a carvery lunch with friends Debbie and Stuart.
Yes, Paul normally eats a butty or a pasty at this time, but he was caught at the carvery instead. And if none of those words made any sense to you, same. I looked them up and apparently a butty is just a sandwich made with butter and other ingredients. A pasty is like a little, I think it's like a handheld meat pie. And as far as I can tell, a carvery is like an all-you-can-eat roast beef.
Oh yeah. I know this nigga went crazy in there because I would have. If they got brisket, whoo, I could eat about 4 pounds of brisket straight and I ain't think about it. Especially if it's nice, fresh, and juicy. Oh my lord.
Dinner. So this man purely eats the most British sounding food anyone could possibly find. And at the carvery, the cameras catch Paul loading up on some other British delights. There they find him piling his plate high with quote unquote Yorkshire pud, meats, vegetables, and 11 roasted potatoes. Actually, never mind, he goes back after a few minutes and ends up with 16 potatoes in total. At some point the show says that in the potatoes and oil that the potatoes were cooked in alone, it was like 2,000 calories or something.
Yes. The same number of calories as you.
That's why I've tried to boil my potatoes now. I don't cook them in oil anymore. It saves a few calories, and I don't know, it low-key tastes better to me, but let's see.
Find in this sticky cake.
All of it.
All of it.
But hey, not like you go to the buffet every day. Maybe 2 plates piled high is a rare occurrence for Paul. Except no, his friend confirms that this is his usual serving and he gets this a lot.
It was Paul's normal portion, really.
Okay.
It was a heaped plate. It wasn't, it wasn't. No, it was big. And then afterwards, he went back for some more roast.
Anyway, according to Paul, he has no time at all to eat during the day. But after the carvery, he actually had time to stop off at home and get another chocolate bar. And then also had time mid-shift to...
So this nigga's already had 500 calories worth of just chocolate bars alone. Nigga.
Stop off at the Chippy.
And he has bought a chip balm. Chip sandwich in a bun.
So this is a sandwich of French fries and what appears to be quite a bit of butter between 2 buns. Damn. Yet another extremely...
496 calories for a bun, 2 buns, and fries. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I think it's more than that because the bun is probably legitly 200. And those fries look like a lot more than 200 calories, and that butter gotta be more. That looks like 600-700 to me. I ain't gonna lie. Damn.
British food. How many words does this country have for sandwich? Wouldn't this show be so good if they did it around the world? Imagine like Secret Eaters India. And that's not all for Paul. When he finally arrives home from work, he grabs 2 cracker and cheese sandwiches, another chocolate bar, and a little bag of potato chips. Now, in reality, that day he technically ate 3 meals and some snacks, unless you count the second plate of carvery as another meal, which we probably should because it was meal-sized. But because every meal was very high in calories, according to the dietitian, he actually consumed around 5,000 calories that day, which is a lot.
5,500 calories.
Damn,
kind of crazy for a guy who claimed.
I absolutely love fruit and veg.
And also,
I would say some days I don't have enough food, yeah.
Clearly, each day, Paul is eating much, much more than he thinks he is. Partially because he doesn't really know how many calories are in what he's eating, but also because he's clearly giving very little consideration to what he's actually consuming. He's sort of just putting the easiest meal he can find in his mouth with little to no thought about how it might impact his health. And he's also doing a ton of his eating in a distracted state. He ate 2 out of 3 of those chocolate bars on the run, which makes it really easy to completely forget about them, even though they probably would have equaled something like 750 calories for all 3. Then he's caught eating 4 crumpets with cheese, a potato with cheese, crackers with cheese. Common denominator here, well, first off, cheese. Turns out Paul was eating 900 calories a day in just cheese.
Over the course of a week, same number of calories as these 74 chocolate biscuits.
Just on your cheese.
But sorry, also the...
Damn. So yeah, there are definitely options out there for you to eat instead of what you're already eating and get more full from it, but just if they could just make healthy foods taste better, nigga, what could I say? It'd be so much easier for fat niggas. We will be binging on strawberries and chocolates and bananas. But at the same time, let me not front. Strawberries are fucking delicious. Grapes are delicious. Bananas, I'll eat them though. Watermelon, I'll eat it though. But if I just surround myself with more foods like that often enough, I would only eat those foods. The temptation is enough to make me go, oh, I got a Pop-Tart in the house. I'm eat the Pop-Tart over the fruit. Probably a little bit faster. Easy, no prep time. You just open the packet, put it in your mouth. You ain't got to cut nothing. Just chuck it in your mouth. And it's just sweeter. It just hits different. I don't know. Because I've had Publix strawberries that are amazing. Like, I could eat the whole thing because they're just so freaking sweet, so delicious, so juicy. But at the same time, I will still end up picking up Pop-Tart over them because it's a goddamn Pop-Tart, nigga. I don't know.
Other common denominator that I wanted to mention was that all the food that Paul makes is extremely quick and easy. Paul seems to be eating just kind of whatever's easiest when he gets home from work and doesn't seem to really be thinking about what exactly it is he's consuming. He's making whatever tastes good and is super, super convenient to him. He clearly does like vegetables, as evidenced by his plate at the carvery, but vegetables take a little bit more prep and a little bit more work that he hasn't done. So when the show shows him the food that he's consumed over the week, his table is all brown and beige foods. There's no color in there because there's no fruits and vegetables because they tend not to be the easiest. I think that's a big issue that a lot of people run into. Healthy eating tends to come with some like planning and preparing, which is the opposite of mindless eating because it requires a bit of planning and forethought and shopping, and you got to make sure everything is like fresh and then doesn't go bad, and you have to coordinate all these things in order to eat healthy. And once he realizes that his table is all beige, he's really shocked, and he doesn't recall eating that way. He totally thought he was a healthy eater.
And touching on that, like, I'm someone who also falls into that trap. I like to have my food as fast as possible. So I'll literally cook like chicken in the, what's the thing called? In the air fryer for 6 minutes. As long as it's just enough pink gone, I'll eat that thing in a heartbeat. Just because I don't feel like waiting for my food. Or I'll buy the little pasta packets from the store. Throw them in there, done in 6 minutes. So I got my chicken and my pasta done in 6 minutes. Instead of sitting around boiling the pasta, baking my chicken in the stove or the oven and waiting 30, 45 minutes to eat, I'm ready in 10 minutes. And I fall into that trap as well because I love the outcome of cooking, but I don't always enjoy the process of cooking. And so that's where I fall into the trap. Sometimes it is fun. Sometimes. Other times I'm like, oh, God, I got like 30 more minutes. just snap my finger and make it go by faster. I'll eat healthier every time too.
Even think about it that way.
So for Paul, not only was he mindless eating in the traditional sense in that he didn't really know what he was consuming, but he also wasn't giving enough thought or consideration to his meals. Two kind of different types of mindless eating.
Are you aware of just how much you're eating?
Well, I don't think I do because that's just made me think that.
So Paul admits that he was in fact a secret eater. But what about Emma? Is her weight gain a mystery, or is Emma also a mindless eater? Emma had also been to the carvery with her husband that day, but the cameras caught her eating only 4 potatoes. So no mindless eating there. Then after eating her lunch, it's a full 9 hours before Emma gets her next meal. A big plate of tuna pasta piled high with a side of mayo. The show claims the portion is in total 933 calories.
Damn.
So even though Emma went so long between her first meal and her second, with a buffet lunch and a 900 calorie dinner, Emma is definitely already over the 1,300 calories that she reported eating on average for the day. But honestly, what she's consumed so far really isn't the issue for Emma. The real issue is her nighttime snacking routine. Emma has a habit of staring off into the fridge or cupboards, in this instance leading her to consume 2 chocolate bars. Okay, staring off into the fridge actually used to be a full-blown hobby of mine, so much so that I actually had to break that habit. And I think that's true for a lot of people. It's the food equivalent of checking your Instagram or your email like repetitively and mindlessly looking for who knows what else is in there. And it happens for the simple reason that there's food in the fridge and food makes us feel good. And so we turn to it when we need a little pick-me-up, and then eventually this behavior becomes a habit. It's the same thing that happens with pigeons and lab rats when you train them to push buttons to get food. Eventually they will just come over and push the little button at random, hoping to get a little treat when they're bored. And humans are the exact same. We start to learn that boredom equals cue to eat. In this case, Emma's cupboard grazing habit also results in her going back for an entire second plate of dinner for an additional 1,000 calories on top of her day. So yeah, not a great day for her calorie-wise.
Sure,
apparently between the buffet and the 2 dinners and the chocolate bars, she also managed to eat around 5,000 calories that day.
You got through 4,500 calories.
But hey, Emma did go
Nigga, now she said that she was only eating 1,300 calories. So she's damn near, I don't know if I do it math, 3,000 calories more than what she thought she was eating. And that's just a crazy fact. Like when you, like I use my Fitness Pro. On the days that I actually use it, I'm like, oh wow, I did a pretty good job on that one. And then I catch myself sometimes. On other days I'm like, oh man, I didn't put that second portion, that second helping in because I already was at like 300 calories left for the day. Because you just see like, oh shit. Food adds up so quick. It's crazy.
Okay, so maybe this was just a weird day for her, right? The next day, Emma is caught eating potato chips on a walk with her friends.
Is that a big bag of crisps there that she's got in the buggy? I think it is. It's like a massive bag of crisps.
And then again while standing around at the cupboards. And then again while watching TV. They also catch her eating some crumpets with jam, another British food, and 2 barms, which according to her friend is common practice for her.
She comes round, she always have a packet of barms with her and meat. She loves barms. She's dead.
So I mean, it's not like
She's dead,
Emma
it's
spending
crazy.
all day eating fast food, but she's definitely eating much, much more than she realizes, all thanks to mindless eating. And keep in mind that Emma was convinced that she was eating really healthily and not that much at all.
You know, I do eat healthily, so it is a bit of a loss to me why I'm this big. I don't eat massive amounts. I want some proper scientific reason why I'm not losing weight.
The scientific reasoning. No need for an experiment, bitch. You just a big bag. Anything in your vicinity getting taken away by your lips is insane. We're gonna solve your problem very quick. Look in the mirror.
Meanwhile, she was actually eating chips while walking, and that was the closest she came to eating a vegetable.
I've seen people that
Crazy.
sit and eat rubbish, and look, well, why ain't they putting weight on like we are?
Maybe they're more active than us, I don't know.
No, I don't think we're eating enough.
Imagine eating a full bag of Doritos while walking and then calling the secret eater team and being like, I don't think I'm eating enough. I think this episode is a perfect example of just how mindless we can be when it comes to our food and how much we're eating. If anyone in your life ever says, I'm gaining weight because I'm not eating enough, please refer them to this show. And it really is incredible how long this myth has made it and how many people believe it. But if there's one explanation for this whole mindless eating thing that can help us change our behavior, it's that when we're running on autopilot, we are essentially unconscious. Not like this kind of unconscious, but just like we are going through the motions and we're not giving any thought to what we're doing at all. There's a lot of stuff we can be doing, a lot of patterns and behaviors we can be repeating without even realizing it. Emma really proves this by not having any idea what she's eaten next. The show is showing her footage of herself the week she was being recorded, and she literally can't remember a single thing that she's consumed.
Do we have more?
It seems, watching that, you seem genuinely surprised how often you were eating.
How often I just go in the fridge and look what's there?
Every 2 minutes, apparently.
But that's kind of how mindless behavior works. That's exactly how it works. Think about when you brush your teeth. You're really not thinking about what you're doing. You're not focused on it. It's just a habit. You brush your teeth thousands of times before, hopefully. And so after so many years and so many...
Well, that was a shot. That was a shot at me. All right, I admit. I definitely think about I'm brushing my teeth because I hate the taste of toothpaste once you're done brushing your teeth. Like, I cannot eat after brushing my teeth. I can't do it. So honestly, if I ever want to go like on a super strict diet, I just gotta keep brushing my teeth the whole entire day because I will not fucking eat. I will not.
Repetitions, it's become automatic. It's mindless now. The same thing can happen with nearly any behavior, even and especially eating. You build up certain eating behaviors over time, such as checking the cupboards, and then these eating habits become mindless. In Emma and Paul's case, another factor that makes mindless eating much more likely is the fact that they seem to eat almost all of their meals in front of the TV. And let's take a look at the look on Emma's face. That is clearly some zoned out, mindless eating behavior right there. Paul, too. And in this case, feeling bored is likely acting as a cue, triggering them to snack. Their brains feel...
And even worse, your brain is distracted the entire time. So when that cue finally comes through for your stomach to tell your brain that you're full, it's not coming through. That's my biggest problem also, is I won't feel full until way later when it's too late. I'm already on my second, third, fourth plate by then. Like, oh no, now I'm full. Oh, I'm really, really full. It's like, you could have told me that back on plate 1.5, please. Hate your stomach.
Feel bored, their hands are empty, and before they know it, they've wandered off for a snack.
I'm not hungry. I know what it is. Boredom. I know it.
But there's a real reason that people recommend not eating your food in front of the TV or any other distraction for weight management. Dr. Suzanne Higgs and colleagues have shown that memory plays a key role in when, what, and how much we eat. In a series of research studies, participants ate a meal with or without distractions. Participants who watched TV or played video games while eating had poor memory of what they ate. They also ate significantly more at their next meal and felt more hungry than their non-distracted counterparts, even if they ate the same amount of food. This is part of why mindless eating often equals overeating. In the end, Lynn Garten shows them what they were eating, and it was a lot more than they thought. As we know, Paul thought he was eating around 2,000 calories a day, but in fact, he was actually eating
4,100 calories a day.
And Emma, who thought she was eating a sparse 1,300 calories a day, was actually eating around
3,500 calories a day.
Damn.
So Lynn sets them up on a plan, and they actually both crush it. Maybe more so than anyone else on the show. They stick to their plan, and they both lose weight successfully. Mystery solved. And you can actually tell they're feeling amazing about it, just their whole vibe. They're so energetic, excited about the changes that they made.
Portions are definitely smaller and definitely helping and definitely not hungry.
No chocolate, no crisps, no biscuits.
And Paul's shirt doesn't even fit him. You can really tell that he's lost weight.
I got myself a small carvery plate and guess how many spuds I had? 3.
It really just goes to show how powerful mindlessness and the reverse mindfulness can be. The act of simply paying attention is one of the most effective tools for changing your behavior. In fact, mindfulness is a core part of my behavior change course, How to Change. If you want to learn to break your most stubborn bad...
Cut it right there, yeah. For all my big back niggas out there and big back sisters out there, we just gotta pay more attention to what you eat. Get you a calorie counting app. It really is that easy. If you can pay attention to how many calories you're eating, you will quickly be able to realize, okay, I need to cut back here. I need to save calories here. Or I need to exercise more so I can burn more calories. Because maybe you're eating at 2,000, but you're so sedentary or stationary that you don't do much all day and you're only burning like 200, 300 calories. Get out there and walk for 30 minutes to an hour. Fuck it, go on a 5-mile walk. I'm about to get back to that myself. I need at least 2, 3, 4 times a week. 5 miles. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But anyway, peace.